Welcome to week 8 of Seasonal Anime Survivor. We have 5 shows left. Last week we sliced off 86 from the list of shows, and we're just going to discuss episodes 8 of the 5 shows left. We can get right into episode 8 of Fumetsu no Anata.
So this one was, I guess, kind of fillery in a way. Not really much plot important happened.
I don't know, this was
It was
like,
it was character
I mean, we
developmenty,
have to
but
set up to like the girl is the one who hasn't seen his face yet, and that's gonna like destroy him, right? Like that's like
probably.
the girl's the one who's not seen Gugu's face, and that's gonna have to happen sometime. And he might be able to handle it from the other people, but if she reacts negatively, well, I don't think he'll be able to handle that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do another direction and make her
Like
like forgiving or kind, but that's
they,
also
yeah.
possible.
But knowing the show, they're not going to take the
The easy way out?
yeah, the easy, happy, everything was fine and everyone was friends and nothing went bad route, because that's not how this show rolls. This
Yeah,
show is just
but
like,
it's not. If I were to predict like an inciting incident, it's going to be like he starts to start feeling okay, but then she sees his face and has the same reaction, and then
that's just gonna crush him.
destroy him. Yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. He
Yeah,
was
it's
pretty like he ran into his brother at the street in the end. Skipping ahead, at the end of the episode, he runs into his brother in
gave
the
him the
street,
ring.
and he gives him the ring. He's like, "I have no brother." So
yeah,
he's
Giga
like,
really thinks he's better off without the ring.
"Yeah, I think." Like he's like, "I don't need the ring. I don't need my brother. I'm good on my own." So I think he's like,
Yeah, Guga's just walking down a lonely road.
the only one that he's ever known.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
um, yeah. So we didn't really get to see his face much. I assume they just want to leave it open to the imagination.
Or they're saving it for
or
the
they're
ending
probably
arc.
they might be saving it for like an important reveal, maybe to whatever the girl's name is. I forget her name. Maybe that one you will see it at the same time she does or something. I don't know. That's just a guess.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. He got rid of his hat. Dang.
Mm, yeah.
Bye bye hat.
No, it's just more of a mask, really. An
A
awesome
helmet.
mask that
And
he's.
then they were like gotten
Oh,
like the wife's quarrel with Fushi. That was like they're 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 mad at each other because he was decided to cut his hand a bunch and burn him.
Yeah, so that was, I guess, a bit of like a bonding moment between the two of them, like by episode's end, because Fushi is like upset with someone for the first time, because it's like, why are you hurting me for no reason? I thought we were friends. When
Yeah.
he was not really being like empathetic about the fact that, like, yeah, this hurts, that you just like keep stabbing him and hurting him just for doing experiments. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
But I'm
And then
very
we
glad
also
that
get like
the two of
so
them
he
have.
randomly generates what he gets stabbed with or hurt with.
Yeah, if he is injured by something, then he can
And
regenerate
so
the
it's
thing.
probably emotional too, is probably where that progresses and how he gets the other
Oh, that's
things.
a good
But
point. Yeah, or maybe if it
that's probably how he's like absorbing the people. Maybe it's like an emotional pain. I don't know. It's maybe could be something like that.
maybe it like has to draw blood or something, because that would make sense for like, oh, the spear and the knife, and also I'm pretty sure everyone he's absorbed, they were like cut or stabbed or something.
Oh, possibly.
So maybe he has to like come in contact
I
with the
thought it was
blood.
more like emotional for the people, but it could be either. Yeah,
Yeah,
not sure.
or maybe a
Yeah, I could
combination.
definitely see it emotional for the organic things and being hurt physically for the
Yeah.
inorganic things.
I do like that they haven't exactly explained how his power works, and we're kind of learning along with the rest of them how it works. I do think it's a little amusing now. He can just generate like knives and like sticks because he got burned. He
Yeah,
can
but he
just,
can't generate flaming stick yet. That's
no, he can't.
unfortunate.
Yeah, he doesn't have any elemental powers.
Well, and that's some. I want to spin off into a bit of a tangent. related to that, I feel like I'm, you know, that thing when you watch the OP and it like spoils stuff that you know is coming later,
Yeah,
and you're like,
all
oh
the
my god.
time.
Yeah, so that's happened here because this whole weird tangent about like the alcohol producing gland that the old man like put in Gugu.
Yeah.
Like on one hand, dude, what the hell? That is messed up to just like implant organs into people. But
Hmm.
on the other hand, in the OP, there's a couple scenes of Gugu like breathing fire. That's a thing
So we
he's going to
got
be
some.
able to do. So, and I'm like, well, this universe isn't like really grounded in like magic and stuff. Like they don't stretch it very far. Like giant polar bears, like the craziest thing they've done so far, outside of
I
Fushi
don't
and
know.
his
Immortal
powers.
being is probably the craziest
I
thing.
know, but I mean, like within the realm of the humans, the only thing that's been
Yeah,
done
yeah, yeah.
crazy is like a
I know.
giant bear. Everything else is influenced by like these like wizard god alien people.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I was like, well, how are they gonna like have him breathing fire without it being like just magic? And then they're like, oh yeah, I'm planting a gland in you that like produces alcohol. And I'm like, oh, oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, okay, gotcha. So,
Wait, so how does alcohol produce fire?
well, if it's like 100 proof, then it is flammable.
Oh.
Like pure alcohol is flammable.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
if you
Yeah.
got if
That's
you got
why,
a
like,
strong enough drink, you can set it on fire. Fun party trick. Don't drink that. It is dangerous, partially because you could burn yourself, and partially because whatever you're drinking is like 90 plus proof.
yeah.
So don't try this at home, kids. I feel like we shouldn't have to say that for Fumetsu no Anata. Don't try anything you see at home. Like, don't fight giant 2-story grizzly bear.
Dude, I'm trying to get clawed in half, turn it into a wolf, and regenerate, and then clawed in
Yeah,
half
like
again.
have like get stabbed through all your veins by a
I'm
magic
gonna do
tree.
like the 720 wolf 1080. I don't know why that. Why did the wolf always do like freaking 360s? It made no sense. But
I don't
360?
I don't know.
You just turn around in circles?
yeah, I
Yeah,
swear there
spin
were
in the
multiple
air?
scenes where like the wolf did a 360 midair. I'm like, what? What are we doing? Tony Hawk's Wolf here? I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
that,
the fight scenes in the
Yeah.
show are pretty good, and I guess if we've got now a new character who's going to be able to breathe fire, hell yeah. The only question is like, are they about to get in a fight? Is that coming? Like, big battle episode soon?
why would that I mean, I'm only conflict I'm seeing is girl sees his face. That's the only thing
Exactly.
on the
Yeah, that's what's got
horizon.
me wondering. Like,
Yeah.
the only thing I could see, like, what if this goes poorly? Girl sees his face, freaks out, gathers up the town people in like an angry mob. I hope that's not where it goes because that would be, really sad.
Yeah, might be
But
something different. I mean, certainly
yeah.
she'll see his face. I feel like that's got to happen, but I don't know if that
Well, they might
mob
just want to
seems odd.
leave it to the imagination too. Just like,
Yeah,
yeah, just take our word. It's really messed up, guys. You don't want to see it, and like we can't draw well enough to convey how like gross and icky it is.
yeah. I wonder.
But yeah. So anyway, that all just goes back to the fact that yeah, that one random tangent about the old man, like apparently he's got a cork in his face, and you just pop it out, and you can just pour pure alcohol out of it, like just in his gut. Like
Okay.
that's messed up, dude. Like, why would you do that to like an 8-year-old that you found half dead in the river?
Yeah.
Old booze man is, to say that he's a character is an understatement, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
More like alcohol Frankenstein.
Yep.
But yeah, but yeah, I guess just the overall plot of this episode was just falling out between Gugu and Fushi, but then them reuniting and kind of getting over their individual issues, and now they are friends. Yay! Hooray!
Yeah, the bond's now stronger.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm.
And Gugu's kind of gotten over his he's gotten over his being abandoned by his brother, and like he just seems like a stronger person now. So good for him. Excited to see what happens next.
I'm
Okay,
excited
moving
to see
on
where it goes.
to Hige Hero, episode 8. We've got
Another
Mishima
summer
being
festival.
Mishima again. And then the Natsumatsuri, yeah. It was like Big Bro Knock Knock. Yeah, we got Aniki FBI open up scene at the end too. That was
Yeah,
the
that was we all knew this was coming. Yeah, skipping straight to the end. Yeah, they found her. We all knew the
yeah.
series was going to go here eventually, and we're like 2/3 of the way into the season. This was going to happen sooner or later. So I assume the next couple episodes are going to focus on either explaining her backstory and or she gets taken away and he tries to
I mean, I think it was
find her
called
again.
like the past, like the name of the next episode or
Oh,
something.
I try to avoid the next episode
Oh, you don't
previews
Yeah.
if
watch
I
the
can.
previews. Okay.
Oh, I hate that. I don't want to know what's happening next. So I did not see what's happening next, but there we go. Next episode's going to be flashback, and we're finally going to find out like what is going on because they really not
Yeah,
like to talk about
about
that.
time. We're gonna find out next week, but so this week
On the
we
next
got
episode of Hige wo
Friginne.
Soru.
They really I mean, they really spent the past 2 episodes trying to strengthen the Yoshida Sayu relationship, like the clinginess of
Yeah.
it, to where it's like, wait a minute, this was the inevitable of it, but becoming difficult, like more connected than you would want it to be, because eventually it has to end. That's sort of what they've done over the past 2 episodes, especially this episode.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
you even had the whole
unfortunate.
like Mishima could see in his eyes that he cared about Sayu. That was like cool. Like,
I'm ashamed. Our guy has fallen.
He's even
Hand
blushing a
holding
little.
in my show? I don't think so.
Oh,
I thought this
how
was a
far has he
purely
fallen?
platonic relationship here. How could you do this to me?
This is what happens when you live with a girl of the opposite sex in your own home.
you end up holding hands.
Yeah, and you start to notice her in little special ways. Like
Guys.
how cute she looks in her yukata.
Yeah. I mean, he's not gonna not say, yeah, but I mean, inevitably it was going to get awkward. Like, you can try, but
Or
it's
you
kind
could
of
not
cool
just
timing that they
it would
set
happen
up
right now
this,
when
yeah, right when everything crumbles down, right?
yeah. Like they're like, okay, we've only got 4 episodes left. Let's hurry this along. Everything has to happen all at once right now.
I
And
don't think
so
that's
here it goes.
terrible. I mean, we'll have
No,
to see, but
no.
I don't think that's a terrible choice to do it. I think that's about the right amount of time. Either episode 7 or 8 is when you'd start to tumble the dominoes. Seems about right.
Yeah. They've been pretty good about pacing with the show all throughout.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't drag too much, but it's not like rushing into it.
Yeah. They seem to have always introduced some element that was interesting enough on each episode that
Mm-hmm.
kept the show going and entertaining to watch. But I guess I don't really have anything else to say other than everything's tumbling down now. We've
Yep,
kind of
me too.
It seems like we've closed Mishima's arc where she's like, okay, yeah, you definitely don't like me. I can stop now. And then
Yeah.
I mean, she might appear later for just random background, a character that existed reasons, but it seems like they'll not focus on her anymore because
Good.
of
Didn't
what.
like her.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't either. But I don't even really like Goto either. But I mean, Asami's got to be best girl, right? If you're gonna pick one, it's got to be Asami.
Yeah, she's like the ideal best friend you could have during high school. Someone who could just have your back
She's
and
just
lend you
cool.
ear.
I don't know. I don't know. She's a cool character. If you're gonna like play the best girl game, it would be Asami.
Yeah. Loud and in your face and doesn't care about like being real with you. and she's one of the few characters in the show who's like purely
Relatively
She's
motivated
also
by
normal.
she's also got her shit
unselfish.
together too. I don't know. She's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
She's like the. I mean, I guess Yoshida is also very together. I mean, he is an adult, but like, I'm just like, I guess Goto's okay. I
yeah,
guess everyone actually all the other characters also have their stuff together. That's like a not a good observation. Sayu's the only one
It's
who doesn't.
Sayu.
Yeah, it's only Sayu that doesn't. I guess I'm comparing Asami to Sayu, which of course, anyone who's not doing what Sayu does probably has her shit more together than Sayu, given the circumstance. Yeah,
Hmm.
that was a tangent. Anyone
yeah.
else have anything to say?
Mm,
Um,
no,
nah,
we can move on to the next one.
Okay, we can move on to Nagatoro. You got the joke of Senpai, like if he felt all the imagining failing a year and having to retake, and then him being the same age, being Moto
Then he's called
Senpai
a
instead of Senpai.
senpai.
Yeah.
yeah. This felt like another
Yeah, that's a
nothing episode where it's just like, oh well, he's just getting in his head about all this. It's not actually happening. Kind of like that
I
one we
mean,
had a few weeks ago with the RPG.
yeah.
Like
But I mean,
another one of
I mean that's
those.
what this show is at its core. But I don't think this show needs to have something happen for it to be. It's really on the merit of how much you liked each individual gag or whatever.
I guess.
yeah, it's
I
also
liked
with
all
the
the
cute
little
dynamic.
I liked the I mean, I like the whole like imagining failing and then him them teasing him for if he failed twice, if they were his senpai. I don't know. It was funny all the little imaginary scenes, and then of course the friends also being at high risk for failing at the end, and then begging him for help. I don't know. It was cute, like where they just did a whole
Yeah.
gag, and then at the end they're like, "Oh wait, actually, we should probably ask you for help." That was kind of cool. And then
I guess in a way it gives some insight into like what's going on in his head because anytime one of these quote unquote like hypotheticals comes up where it's not actually happening, he always imagines things being worse than they're really gonna be, you know. So
yeah.
maybe he still kind of like hasn't gotten over that, and like he's like, oh, they're
Mhm.
gonna be so mean, and then they hang out, and then no, it's not that bad. So I don't know. It
And then
it
there
just
was
feels
like
like
the
he's not.
Splinter sex noise classic
Oh,
misunderstanding scene where they do that.
yeah.
I mean, those are always fine. I don't know.
Yeah, like if nothing else, I guess the Nagatoro friends are like kind of chilling out more. Like they're not being as mean
Yeah.
as the season progresses. So cool.
And then there was the piggyback scene, and then there was the bath scene.
It's cute how they both blush in realizing that Nagato's
Yeah,
naked body was on display.
yeah, that was
Yeah. It shows that they have slightly more in common than what they initially thought.
and also it's like they didn't go with like the standard scream embarrassed. They
It's a cute embarrassment scene.
yeah, it was more like maybe what would actually happen. I mean, closer to it than you would normally present in anime. Uh,
What if you were gonna like accidentally
normally it's
like
like super
FaceTime with some
exaggerated
guy
gag.
naked? Yeah.
What?
What if you were gonna like accidentally FaceTime a guy naked? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how that's a bit more realistic as how you're gonna react.
Yeah, it'd be like, sorry. You would just be embarrassed, right? It wouldn't be like
Yeah.
the baka hentai slap thing that like they do so much in anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's literally what happened this episode.
Yeah, that's all
Oh
that
yeah,
happened.
at the piggyback, I liked how like he like lifted her up and then she bust and just runs home. She's like, that was cute. Like he like lifts her up, touches a little too deep, and she's just embarrassed, and so she like runs home. That was good. I don't know. There's not much to say, but the show's cute. I don't know. This show is just really, really sweet. I don't know.
Right.
Okay, moving on to Shadow's house. Yeah, that's the next show.
Yeah.
We've
Um,
got
the
Shadow
maze.
Dude.
Yeah. It's slowly coming to a close.
Yeah, this
The
arc has
debut
been
arc.
really cool.
So I have to imagine, yeah, the debut is going to be done probably this upcoming episode, and somebody's gonna get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edward's just a conniving manipulator
Yeah.
with bigger ambitions than I originally expected.
I mean,
So
it was shown in the first like preview. The first time we ever saw him, he said he showed him scheming from the first time we ever saw him.
Yeah, but he
so
like wants to move on to the third floor.
Yeah, that's
And
what he
then he has
said
a
in the
bigger
very.
plan.
That's the very first time we said it. Said that he said that. He said that the very first
Mm,
time. It was at the end card of an episode as like a.
yeah, it seems like the other wing of the house is like a whole other world of stuff going on. So I have to assume, like, this show is not going to wrap up this season. No way. It'll probably just be the characters that survive get promoted to another wing of the house.
I mean,
And
by the scheduling, it is going to be. If that's a spoiler, but like just by like it's
no, that's not a
scheduled
spoiler.
for.
Like, very obviously, they're going to keep going with this show. Like, I assume
I
what
wonder.
I have to
I don't
assume what
know.
happens next, because we've met a couple other characters, like, they're not with the adults in the main room and they're not with the kids, so they must be like the ones who have passed the debut but haven't graduated to like hang out with like the big boys yet. So they got to be
on the second floor?
I was gonna say the
Oh,
first floor.
so it is based on a manga. I thought it
Yeah,
was an original
definitely.
anime.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is certified. I'm gonna read the manga after the season ends.
Yeah, for some reason I thought this was an original anime, but no, it's
Hmm.
based on a manga.
I had no idea, but yeah. So I have to
Yeah, no,
assume
I just checked because I was wondering when you said it, you think it might go longer. So
yeah, I have to wonder if like the debut arc can't last the entire rest of the season, like, but
yeah,
that's not going to give much time for them to set something up, like another mini arc before the season
yeah. There's
concludes.
only gonna be like
Four more
four more.
episodes, so
Yeah, there five more, but still
yeah, I wonder
not
how
very
this is
many.
going to go. But anyway, let's focus on this episode. So
Yeah,
they're starting to find their shadow masters.
Hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yep. They're starting to find them and rescue them and get back. They just found Kate and got to figure out how to get her out
yeah,
of the
and
thing.
Oh, and you seem like that's the
we
end of the
got
episode.
Louise. Louise got out,
Yeah,
and
she's out. They got back to the middle, so they were the first ones done. That's probably going to rank
yeah,
well. They're probably going to be like top ranking.
I loved.
Because on top of that, she's got the perfect
I liked
face.
Lou's disgusted face when
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
I definitely do like her look too. And
that
when
was
she was getting praised, she also like has the satisfied look. So she's got the look of a doll down to a T.
Yeah, like
yeah, yeah. So
she is
she
very
like
good at her
perfectly did
job.
all of Louise's expressions, like when he was like, "Oh yeah, there's no way I would date him," and then she does the disgusted look like Lou does it. It was good.
Yeah, that's one of the like she knows what her job is and she is good at it.
Yeah,
And like following questions without or following orders without question and like doing exactly what they ask. And that is like, when there's no shadows around, she's got her own personality and she's her own person, but when they are,
poor Ricky though.
Yeah, he got thrown to the side. He's a third wheel now.
Yeah,
yep. Oh well. Patrick's just kind of sitting in the box with his orange slices of flour, chilling. So presumably,
what's funny, I just love the contrast of like the expectations going in and how it all came out. Because like you would expect a Ricky to be like the antagonist, like basically being what Lou is now, like going into it. But as things played out, it was like the opposite. And now it's like you're feeling sorry for Ricky. Lou's like quote unquote the bad guy, but not really. She's just a
yeah,
doll, right?
no,
She's just doing it.
exactly. That
But
because what it is like, you'd think Ricky would be like, oh yeah, he's gunning for the top and he's going to be like the main antagonist because he's the most ambitious, but ambition
yeah,
is not a good trait for a doll to have. So
yeah.
that's like counting against him, and he's slowly starting to realize that he's not hot shit like he
Yeah.
thought he was, and so like he's kind of like mellowing out and like looking for help and trying to be friendlier, and good for him.
And then you got Ram, like, they'll talk about her master
No,
never
that's Rom,
talking.
actually.
Yeah,
It's
they've
Rom.
Ram.
yeah, like they've never spoken. She doesn't actually have a name. Like
Yeah, it's like that she
I
just
forget what's her
gave
master's
herself.
name.
It's Shirley, I think.
It's Shirley. That's right. Like what's
I mean,
Shirley's
it's
deal?
it's still so
Yeah,
you could
and
you
like
could spell it either way. I'm just looking,
Whatever.
but yeah,
But yeah, like
yeah,
what's Shirley's deal? Like she's literally never had a line in this entire series, and
I think Shirley's just, just going along with her own deal, and she just never seemed to be speaking out. I like how Rom just thinks to the worst conclusion that Shirley doesn't like her, because I have that problem too of thinking the worst case scenario of getting a conflict with someone.
yeah.
versus on the other hand, Emiliko's like, oh
Like,
no, she's the best, and she probably is just like so like thrilled to have you that like she's speechless all the time, and she cleans
Yeah, and
her own room, so you don't. And
she
I'm like,
doesn't
no,
emit
yeah,
that's
soot
giving
not.
people
anywhere.
the
She might
benefit of
just
the
be
doubt.
satisfied, right? She might be very emotionally stable. We actually don't know, but it's very possible. If we
Yeah,
like,
That's
because
weird that like she's never given off soot and like never been upset regardless of circumstance. Like,
yeah,
what if she's a defective shadow?
nah,
effective.
she's
What is that
like,
supposed to
what
mean?
is it called? She's enlightened.
Yeah, she's like a stoic. She
Yeah.
never gets upset.
She's an enlightened like monk, and she just has reached that state and exerts no soot.
Yeah, she's just disconnected from the world.
Maybe she literally is just like mute this whole time and nobody knew.
Mm.
Like, who knows?
Yeah,
Like, Shirley is
yeah.
just weird. She's weird. I don't know what's going on. Like, at first I thought she was just like hateful and
Shy.
either hateful and malicious and just like didn't like her, or she didn't like Rum at all or something like that, and that's why they never spoke. But then I'm like, what if she's just she's already given up. She knows she's gonna fail the debut and just like is not even gonna try anymore, and that's why they never talk. But now I'm like, well, no, she's just kind of like sitting there having no mood whatsoever. Like, what is going on? So Shirley's weird. Curious to find out more about her next episode.
And Edward is actually a shadow. That's like, what's up with
Uh,
that?
I that's yeah. Like if I guess if we're jumping ahead to the end of the episode, I don't know what the deal is there. I don't. Here's what I assume is happening: is that Edward is a living doll, but like when he quote unquote transforms, like that is his shadow master. And you know how it seems like the older shadow masters each have like a different unique power. I'm pretty sure Edward's shadow, like his power is just that like he just kind of like is incorporeal and like forms around Edward's body whenever he wants to take form.
Oh, okay.
Something like
That's
that.
possible too, yeah.
So like like he doesn't feel like having like a physical form all the time, and when he does, he just takes over his doll. And
Yeah.
they're like kind of like sharing one body in a way. Like I'm assuming it's something like that. So whenever he turns into a shadow, that is the shadow master, and it is a separate entity and a separate person, separate personality. Like you can tell because his voice changes when he transforms. So that's going to be the shadow.
Yeah.
And then, but that's his unique shadow power, because we never saw his shadow hanging around upstairs before, when you would have assumed that
Mhm.
you would have.
And
So
his
it's good.
gang, his like cronies, we haven't seen theirs either. Or have we? Were they in the Verona building?
No, they weren't,
No,
because
I
they're
don't
second
think we.
floors. The three of them are
Mm.
second floors who debuted like a while ago. I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Oh yeah,
sure
they were the last three of their group.
yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we've seen some of
There's
the
Hanekawa and then the dude. I just know it's
yeah.
Hanekawa's voice because it's exactly the same voice.
Yeah, and I have to assume that because we've met one of the first floors before, right? The remember the doll who was like in charge of the
Was
like the cleaning
Barbie?
squad? Yeah, her. We've met her and her shadow master like out in the garden that one time when they fell out the window.
Oh.
And they were that the whole thing was messed up.
Wait, no, that was that Barbie or is that the other one? Like not there was that other doll that was like not Barbie, but the other one.
Yeah, I forget her name, but we've
Yeah.
met them down in the garden. I'm
Barbie
pretty
was like
sure.
the angry one.
So I'm pretty
It
sure
was like
her and
No, yeah, Bobby's the completely angry
yeah,
one.
like
no, it
her.
was Mia. Mia and her master.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because you saw her in her
Yeah.
like cleaner room, and it's all like beat to hell. She's got like scars all over her from being beaten and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's all messed up. But I'm pretty sure that her, and we've never seen them in the show, but we've seen in the OP like several other shadows who look like they're like maybe teenagers or so. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
they're all on the first floor. Edward and his posse are all on the second floor, and the elder shadows all live on the third floor in the main wing. So I think once the debute's over and we see who survives, the season's going to end with the remaining characters being shipped off to the first floor of the main wing and being introduced to
Mm,
all these other new shadows, and then like setting up for like a small conflict.
yeah. So I guess maybe could be like that. Or this could be one of those animes that never finishes and it's just like a one season thing and then you have to read the manga.
Well, there you go. If it's based on a manga, then you get to find out
Yeah.
how it ends. It's already been written. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we never get more of this show, which I don't see why we wouldn't in the future.
Well, I mean, it did. Well, the very obvious reason is just sales and popularity. That's all.
Yeah, we'll just have to keep
Fair
an eye on the
enough.
Blu-ray sales.
Yeah.
Oh, and also like the number of the manga, how many volumes the manga sells.
Yeah, how many it pushes.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately not very popular at all by Mao. I don't know by whatever. I don't know
Yeah,
where
I
to
don't
look
know,
for
like,
Japanese
yeah,
popularity.
that's
I
what I
just
was
know.
thinking too.
Well, I personally think
Um,
this is one of the best shows of the season, and unless
well,
for some
Yeah.
it is by even by Mao rating. It's just not very popular. I mean, it's not the highest by rating, but like by rating on Mal, it's like by far Fumetsu no Anata and Vivy have the highest scores of the season, but
yeah.
it's still decent.
And you know my philosophy, any show I like enough, I'll go buy
Yeah,
the Blu-ray. So there's a good chance I'll be getting a copy of Shadow's House once that comes out like next year. So
yeah. No, Shadow's House is
That's
pretty
highly
solid.
generous of you.
it's not the first time I've done this for a show I like.
Indeed.
Anyhow, do we have any other thoughts on this episode?
I could strive to have more Emilico's positivity.
Actually, it's not even it's like ranked 13 out of this season as far as rating.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's
it's
one last point to end on. Emilico is maybe naively optimistic, but like oftentimes it pays off for her. I think soon though
Yeah.
that's gonna backfire
Mm,
once it comes time to like rate the review of the debut. Like I don't think she's gonna get last place, but she's gonna get like like the lowest rank out of everyone who survives.
yeah, like
yeah.
way
Like
number
they're
4.
not gonna they're not. I'd be impressed if the show like
So are we gonna see Ricky die? I guess.
oh lord, yeah if Ricky and Rum might not make it. Or I guess it would be their shadow masters wouldn't make it, and then the two of them
I'm
would.
so confused calling her Rum because it's Ramu, and Ramu is also Ram in Ray Zero.
Yeah, well, we're watching the subs, and
So
that's how they subbed
back
it.
translating it to two different words confuses me because it's like
You know what we're talking about.
yeah, I know. It's blowing my
Uh,
mind. I just checked her name. They have it as RU. I'm like, but it's the same as Ram and Ray Zero. Why wouldn't they just
The
use
experience of
RA?
watching a show in a different language.
They translate the exact same word into different things contextually. Not words, the same name.
well,
And
you're not
it's
getting
like,
paid to translate it, and they are, so I'll take their word for it.
I'm confused. We have precedent in another character with the same. Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
Okay, that we
Yeah,
talked enough about that, I guess. Move on to the next show. What is the next show? It's
Vivy.
Vivy.
Oh boy, it's time for Vivy. This episode went all over the place in strange directions that I did not
We had
expect.
idle manager robot that goes decommissioned and hijacks his idle robot that he's
Yeah,
the
it turns
manager
out
of as a robot.
he wasn't dead the whole time. Yeah, spoilers for the end of the
Oh,
episode, but like yeah, that's interesting. They said I'm sure next episode they'll go a bit more into the backstory of what's going on. But yeah, that flipped the script because like the whole time they're like,
Antonio.
yeah, they're like,
Ah,
oh, she's depressed and gonna kill herself. Nope, that's not what's going on at all. That's one thing I do like about this show. It seems like every single mission they've been on so far, they were given bad intel and have to
I
like
like how
make it up on
Vivy
the
is like
fly.
superhuman in the new arcs though. Like she's when she like had the mind rewipe, she's like such a she's just like, oh man, I'm just gonna talk to her. I'll make her feel better. She'll be okay if I just talk to her. It's just like so different from the Vivy before.
Well, she had
It's like
decades to develop a personality and also,
yeah,
being like a mega famous pop star idol, like it's kind of gone to her head.
you don't get
yeah.
anywhere without confidence.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just so interesting the difference. I love how different her character
yeah. I feel
is
like
in this arc.
honestly, I kind of think of Vivy and Diva as two very different characters.
Yeah. So this is
Um,
Diva.
yeah, I have to wonder if maybe like they'll do a thing of bringing back quote unquote Vivy and they'll have like a split personality. They
Yeah,
may not,
maybe.
but
It'd be cool
sci-fi
if they did do that.
mumbo jumbo artificial intelligence something they could do it if they felt like
Yep.
maybe yeah, oh yeah, having to do this fight awakens strange memories, blah blah blah. But yeah, so yeah, Ophelia's not Ophelia, she's what's his name, uh
Antonio?
Antonio, stage light manager robot.
Yeah.
She was him the whole time. And what in the heck? Like,
Yeah.
I have to wonder what happened if, like, he, like, overrode her brain with his brain and she's really been
Yeah.
him this whole time. Or, like,
Well, they had that
is he,
flashback
like,
at the beginning, which was her performing at like this small little club and him like yelling at her afterwards. I mean, I'm assuming at that point they were
yeah,
still
like,
separate.
that struck me as, and, like, him being kind of like a real asshole to her. And then later her go in the museum, look at him like, oh yeah, he was the sweetest. I miss him so much. I wish he was
Yeah.
here. Like I'm like, this is very clearly like an abusive robot relationship here.
Yeah.
Like that made me a little uncomfortable. I'm like, yeah, this is not like cool. But that makes 100 times more sense now. Like he was just that wasn't her. That was him who was saying all that.
Yeah. But he
So
he acts her role pretty well.
well, she was kind of made for it. I have to assume
Yeah.
what happened is like she was just bombing so hard all the time and like her career was floundering, and if it's his job to make her succeed, he just threw his hands up and was just like fuck it, and like literally possessed her to just like fine, I'll do it myself.
I just realized Ophelia is on the cover art for the series.
Oh. um
Oh, I didn't know that.
well, so far this is the first arc to take more than 2 episodes, so
Well,
this
also the what's her name? The girl from the space station was too. Oh, I forgot her name was
I guess
Estella or something.
I feel like they're trying to make more character out of the other AIs we've met along the way, and it's like once your little 2 episode arc is over, like
Yeah. No, I'm just saying they're not like on the front. They're like not front and center. They're just sort of
no, okay,
background.
I know what you mean, yeah, but
Yeah.
they're representations of their
It's just
parts,
interesting. Oh, it's
but
it's funny when you didn't notice it before and like you look back at, oh yeah, that character is just I remember that character. I didn't realize they were on the cover of the show like for the whole time.
yeah. So yeah, Antonio is new villain here. So why would in I gotta wonder in the normal timeline, why is Ophelia dead? Like, did
Yeah.
they like was it something like the two, like she's still in there and the two of them are wrestling for control and she killed herself to like escape him?
Maybe.
Like maybe that's something that was going on, and obviously they wouldn't have known, but now we do. And on one hand, yeah, Antonio's in charge, and he's very clearly a villain. But on the other hand, like, there's no reason either
But
Ophelia
is he
or
really a villain? Like he's just I mean he's yeah, you could say what he's done's bad, but as far as like the overall plot, like
well, I mean, he's villainous.
yeah, like but like what does he ultimately what does his impact on the world collapsing?
Well, just causing quote unquote Ophelia to quote unquote kill herself sets off a
Yeah.
chain react. Like that misunderstanding and misinterpretation of events is like makes everyone think that an AI committed suicide, and that
Yeah, so they have to
is a
resolve it
chain.
somehow.
Yeah, they have to like keep her dead body from showing up, or make sure that nobody thinks that it was an accident, or I mean not
Yeah.
or make people think it was an accident and not like intentional suicide. Because
Hmm.
like if Ophelia dies and it happens in a way where it looks like it was a suicide, that's what triggers all these events to like oh yeah, evolution of AIs and causing strife and all
Are we
that.
gonna end
So
up in an ending where we just calls the ending, where it's just like, that kind of future paradox where you just everything you do just
I
causes
have
the
to
thing?
imagine it doesn't happen, but it's like right on the verge of happening. But Diva and slash Vivy is going to be there to handle the situation and like stop it at the last second.
Okay, yeah, that's probably where we're headed.
Like
Because like it would seem,
everything they've done so far is very subtle.
yeah.
Like they haven't like they only intervene occasionally every few decades. So like that's not like them to
Oh,
like
yeah, and there's the other guy that showed up. He had like a piano teacher robot. That was the other thing in this
is
episode.
that like
Are you talking about
But
the guy who couldn't be seen in the footage who faked it all?
yeah,
yeah,
is that
like
not the terrorist guy? Is that a different guy? I couldn't tell.
he seems younger.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Hmm.
confused.
I think he's
Maybe
just
he's like the son of the older terrorist?
yeah, maybe that's
Maybe that's why they look so similar?
it couldn't be him. Or I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out more soon. But
Yeah,
yeah, I guess that like that's weird that like why would you join
because
the
he was
terrorist
framed to look like the
organization?
terrorist guy in the last episode,
Yeah.
and now we see he looks a little different. So it's
Yeah, he doesn't have the scars on his face. It's not him.
yeah,
Either that or he like cloned himself or something crazy like
yeah, it could
that.
be a
But they haven't
clone or a
established
son or something.
yeah, but they haven't established any of that yet. So who knows? As far as I'm concerned, he's just some guy until I am told otherwise right now,
Yeah,
who's also a terrorist, but also clearly not responsible for Ophelia's death because
yeah.
Antonio is responsible for Ophelia's death in the primary timeline, presumably. So,
Hmm.
yeah, next episode is going to be interesting to see how they resolve this without her getting killed. Because, like, how do you handle the situation? A split personality where one of them is trying to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Mm. It's gonna be a pretty hot episode to watch next week.
Yeah. On the other hand,
I just love how clunky and dumb Antonio looks. He's just like a big dumb light bulb,
yeah, he's
right?
supposed to be a literal stage light, but like
Yeah.
also able to walk around and stuff. So
I like when you have I like when you have the human characters be in like a dumb looking robot shape where it's just like that
yeah, it's like
it's kind
half the
it's a
AIs are
good
like
mix.
yeah, this shows it maybe it's an interesting statement they're gonna make later. Like there's the humanoid AIs and the non-humanoid AIs. Like
Yeah.
some of them are built for form, some of them are built for function.
Hmm.
And I suppose over time we'll see maybe there'll be some internal strife, or that'll be like a plot point they bring up later.
Yeah, we already saw a little bit with like the ones at the factory. It's kind of similar.
Yeah, that was a bit of a thing there. But on the other hand, in our like human killing apocalypse at the very beginning of the series, that
They
was
were all humanoid, right?
no, it was an even blend. Half
Oh,
of
it
them were
wasn't
just
even.
like, yeah, there was like little floating drone robots that were just like kamikazing people's skulls
Hmm.
and like robot cars running people over. But then also, some humanoid ones who were like running around and hunting people down, and so yeah,
Yep.
that would be an interesting plot point to bring up, like humanoid versus non-humanoid AIs. But I think they may not dive into that.
Yeah. I might not go that way. Well, that's all I have to say for this.
Yeah, curious to see what happens next.
Yeah, that's gonna
Okay, we
be
can
cool.
move into the voting.
Let's see
Actually, I
who's
haven't voted
getting
yet. I'm gonna,
tied.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna write down my list real quick.
All right, do that real quick, and we're gonna see who is kill.
Yeah, who is kill? So we voted, and unfortunately, sad to say, Nagatoro is out. Everyone's favorite show, everyone's favorite icon profile picture has been destroyed and is off of
Yeah.
the seasonal anime Survivor.
If it makes the
Nugget
listeners at home feel better,
Nagatoro had a good run, made it up to week 8, but
none of us voted it
unfortunately,
in last place.
She's definitely gonna be voted Spring Anime Best Girl of the Season. So she
yeah,
has that
but
going for her.
The,
I mean, to be fair, 5th place, not a terrible run,
no,
not a
not at all.
good run up to this to get this far, but it's it.
It's like we
Gonna
said
we can
last week.
applaud.
There's no bad shows left. We just gotta make tough choices every single week. That's what we're here for.
That's
And
all
that's
it
it
counts
for week
for.
8.
Okay, see you next
All
time.
right, see you all next week.